Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions. A feminist goes completely mental, goes viral, being shared all over social media because she's all of a sudden discovered what it's like to be a man. And what do I mean by that? She just discovered, hey, I'm going to have to work the rest of my life, and I don't want to work the rest of my life. And I want to travel and be selfish, and I want to be an adult child and just have everything given to me. And the funny thing is about this, that if a woman about her age, a young woman her age, had decided, you know what, I'm going to meet a great guy while I'm young, while I'm pretty, while of course she doesn't have a great attitude about life, but if she were mentally sound, and she'd find a great guy, and she says, hey, I want to be a stay-at-home mom, or I want to stay at home, and I'll be a good wife to you. You go to work, and I'll stay home and do a little bit of laundry, do some dishes, maybe cook some meals, keep the place clean. She'd have an easy life. She'd have an easy life. But instead, what does she do? She decides to go out there and strike it out on her own, and like everybody else does, and she gets completely roasted for it. So I'm going to play this video. And you will see how, number one, she's a big child. She's like emotionally not stable. And number two, she's realizing now that feminism is the big lie. That you can't just go out there and act a fool until you're in your 30s and then expect some guy to swoop in and save you. I'll jump right into the video. You can see her having her meltdown here.
There is no way that you're going to tell me I'm going to work my whole life. I'm going to sit behind a fucking desk and work 9 to 5 each day of my life until retirement. There is no way that is what life is about. I will not be put in that box. I'm sorry. I just realized a little bit extra. Ooh, little bit.
Dude, she is so mental. She is so mentally unwell. Her emotions are just all over the place. And yeah, maybe she's going over the top for social media. Who cares? Like, I can go over the top. I sometimes do here. And if you're like, dude, you don't go over the top. Well, I do in comparison to my flatline. She's mental. She's literally mental. Dancing, screaming, jumping around, freaking out. Why? And now she says, you're not going to tell me that I'm going to have to work. I'm not going to do this. You can't, she has this kind of you can't make me attitude. Oh, yes, we can. It's called society. You know, way back in the day when guys were the providers of the house, it gave an advantage to men that were maybe not quite as attractive, not quite as tall. Maybe they weren't as much of a physical specimen, but they could turn around and make a lot of money, work very hard, become very successful, and still get an attractive wife because the wife appreciated him for more than just his looks. She knew, hey, we'd have a little bit bigger house. I'll be higher on the socio-economic ladder. That will still give me benefits. The kids will have better education. But now women were told that doesn't matter. You can get that bag. And now she's realizing, oh, because I don't know, she probably looks like she's still in her 20s. She realizes, oh my God, I've got to do this 45 more years, 9 to 5 every day, and I don't have the ability to just go goof off whenever I want. And this is why so many young people are like, oh, let's do socialism. Socialism's great. No. They think they're just going to sit around and have things handed to them under socialism. That's not how any of this works. Trust me. But because they usually come from a spoiled background and have had everything given to them, they just think if they get socialism, well, everything will still be given to me. And she's finding out what the real world is like. I'm going to pull it back again so you can watch this freak out one more time, and then we'll keep rolling.
In that box. I'm sorry. I just realized a little bit extra. Ooh, little boogie. I want to have fun. Like, I actually want to have fun, and I don't understand why this is the norm. And
I got to stop this again. I don't mean to keep stopping it, but tell me this is not a 3-year-old, the way a 3-year-old reacts to things. I want to have fun. This isn't fair. Meh.
I want to have fun. Like, I actually want to have fun, and I don't understand why this is the norm, and we're putting up with this. I know half of us are not putting up with it, but I feel like we're putting up with it too much. It's time to take a stand. I don't know how we would take a stand. I'm so red because I'm stressed. This is why I travel, because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to work, and then I'm going to travel, because why the Would I lock myself into a job for the rest of my life? I need to fucking see the world. Like, I genuinely need to see the world and experience life. And I'm young and I'm lucky that I have that privilege of not having too many responsibilities, not having any little fucking rats running around, you know what I mean? But like, Jesus Christ, it's gonna make me cry. And I love you all. And if you're working and you're struggling, you're the fucking shit. And you deserve love and light and peace. Bye.
What she's getting wrong, I mean, number one, she's mentally ill, clearly. I say that a lot about a lot of young people sometimes. What she's getting wrong is she's trying to get life backwards. Now, she's Australian. And one thing a lot of Aussies do, because I met some of them when I was doing my travels around the globe and I was staying in hostels and I was hitchhiking, a lot of Aussies and many Europeans will take a break between high school and college. They travel sometimes for a year or two. They'll go to a different country. They work for a few months, maybe again in a hostel, or they work as a nanny or something like that. And while they have their year abroad, they'll be making a little money as a nanny or whatever, and then they get to see the country that they're in. Maybe it helps them decide what they want to do. I think it's a great idea. The problem is she looks to be around the age that maybe has done that, and now she's saying, that's got to go away and I need to go back to the real world right now, and I don't want to. And she throws a hissy fit. The problem she doesn't understand is this is what life is. You know, is it fair? Not necessarily. But if you find something that you enjoy at work and you're able to live in your means, you can get an enjoyable life about it. If you work extra hard and do really well in investing, you might be able to retire in your 40s and or 50s. Or if you were a couple and you had that double the income, but you didn't spend all your money like you went crazy with it, again, you'd be able to probably retire early. But she can't look that far down the road. And as a matter of fact, a lot of women can't. You know, this is from Yale Insights. Why aren't women saving enough for retirement? Now, they talk about the wage gap, but that doesn't exist. They talk about the fact that men are more aggressive in their investing and women tend to hold on to more cash. And women spend a lot more money. I'm not going to read down through the whole thing. But it's obvious. And of course, they have other excuses that, women, it's not women's fault because X, Y, Z, A, B, C, because, God forbid we hold women accountable. It's happening to a lot of women. And what's happening is they're getting bitter, they're getting angry, they're freaking out. Women do, as a man, you are pretty much raised to know, and I think it's in our DNA a little bit, a lot of men will value themselves based on their work and their title and their income. But most women don't. So for men, I don't know if it's both hardwired and it's something that we kind of know that if we don't work hard, society will not support us. We're going to be homeless. We're going to be thrown out on our ear, where women have backups. They can have a kid and get money from the state or from the ex or something. They can pretend to be normal for a little while and find a good provider guy, even though she might later on rake him through the coals and take half his money. But they always have bailouts. Men don't have bailouts. And I think we know this and we're taught this pretty early on. And so I think most men are kind of like, I know I'm going to have to work probably until I die the way the economy is right now. But these women, they could have it easy. They could have it easy. Now I know, again, she's schizo weird, right? But let me try to find a normal screenshot where she's not go crazy, which is kind of challenging. There's not one, that's why I didn't even use this as a thumbnail, because she just goes mental the whole time. There's not even a good screenshot I can use to show that she seems okay looking. Okay, I'm not great. I'm just saying, if she were mentally well-adjusted and was nice and was feminine and had a good sense of humor, she'd find a guy to marry her. And if she was reasonable about what the income needed to be, and that as long as they, had a roof over their heads and a decent car, you could probably retire early. But these women want the fancy cars and the big bank accounts and the big houses and all the money, and they want to not work, and they want and. And now she's going to have to rely on herself. That's all that's left for her. I'm going to do dating profile of the day over on betterbachelor.locals.com. So I hope you join me over there and appreciate it. And for the rest of us on Locals, let's do a dating profile of the day.